So you want to know why I'm running for alderman? I think actually my interest in politics goes back to when I was a kid growing up in Flint, Michigan. Both of my parents ran for public office in the 50s and 60s, and I helped out. And then when I was in college at the University of Michigan, I was studying Chinese language and civilization. One summer I had an internship with Bella Abzug in Washington, D.C., and I think from that came my interest in going to law school. So I went to the University of Michigan Law School, graduated in 1978, and then moved to Chicago. Got my law license, and I also took the real estate broker's exam, and I went to work for a company that was doing gut renovations of buildings that had been off the tax rolls in DePaul. And I started going to film school, Columbia College, and ultimately I changed careers. Worked for an educational publisher making curriculum-correlated films, learned a lot about the educational system, and then started becoming involved in different kind of volunteer work. I was on the board, actually the chair of an associate board for the film festival. I was a founding member of the Cook County Democratic Women's Group. Eventually I became involved with the Boys and Girls Club. I've been involved for about 15 years. From that really saw a lot of different parts of the city, a lot of the youth issues, and in a kind of convoluted way, that's how I got involved with the Meigs Field issue, which I think most people know me from. And I got involved because I thought it was inappropriate for the Park District to be spending $26 million to rip down a functioning airport when there were parks all on the south and west side that didn't have stuff. And I was the executive director of the group that coordinated advocacy efforts to save the airfield, which we did, going through the process. And that was in 2002. And then in 2003 came the night where the mayor not only dug up and bulldozed the runway, but his own reputation. And I was out there. I was called by the media. And that event galvanized my interest in making sure Chicago had open, good government. And I believe one of the ways that can happen is by being an alderman, because I believe one of the functions of the city council is to be watchful, to be a balance to the mayor. And I know how the city has worked, and I know how it can work better. I also believe that being an alderman means you have to resolve the issues that are in the ward, but you also have to work to legislate solutions to citywide problems. And I think my background in law and education and social services really do qualify me to understand these problems. And I also have worked in collaborative work. I mean, filmmaking is collaborative, and one of the things to be effective as an alderman is you have to bring people together to come up with solutions for the ward and for the city. And I want to be the person who does that. I think I could do a very good job at that. I'm very much interested in getting increasing civic participation in the ward, representing the ward. And that's why, you know, we do all these things in the campaign. You know, you go out, you pass out literature, you meet new people, you go to events at people's houses, public events, you go, you know, because you need to find out what people want to have done so you can effectively represent them. I can be effective as a leader for them, the 43rd Ward, in making the ward better and the city of Chicago better.